Hello, everyone. I'm Katrina Menzigian, and I lead our Analyst Relations Engagement Program here at Everest Group. I am super excited to be joined today by Peter Bender-Samuel, our CEO of Everest Group. And I wanted to have his thoughts and have a conversation with him about all the talk in the market today about generative AI and what this means for our businesses. And so, Peter, you're out there talking to folks all the time. Tell me a little bit about what you're hearing and what direction the conversation's taking.
This is the hottest topic in the industry, whether I'm talking to a board of directors, CEO, CIO, CTO, or heads of business lines. I can't think of a recent conversation I've had recently in which AI has not come into it, specifically the impacts of ChatGPT and the generative AI that underlines that.
So, can you add some color in terms of what's the nature of the conversation, maybe the concerns and maybe the opportunities, or maybe a practical way of taking this big space and applying it to our businesses? Any thoughts there?
Yeah, first of all, I think everyone's convinced it's going to have a huge impact on their business and be very disruptive in a good way. They're going to be able to leverage it, and it's really going to change business fundamentally. I think the current issue is less how it's going to change business and how do you get started. And specifically, how do you manage the risk that comes with it? Let me be specific about the risk. There's a number of dimensions of risk that LLM or generative AI open up. An example of the biggest example of that really is the fact that if you use a public generative AI LLM, you're exposing everything it sees to the public. So your customer list, your IP, and clearly that's a significant risk that needs to be managed. Another significant risk is the cyber threat that also presents to the companies. This presents a huge jackpot to the black hats. So consequently, our firm is spending a lot of time investigating AI, but the thing I think we're most focused on right now is helping the industry understand those risks, build a framework so that our tech services service provider friends can go to their clients, clearly help them understand what risks they're running and how to manage them. And that way they can get started on the journey.
That sounds good. So we're working on this through, I think, some of our published research. We have a number of items that have come out over the last few months, and some of them are going to be shared in the context of this newsletter today, so people can get at them easily. But are there particular pain points that are maybe top of mind with executives? Is it the technology element? Is it the protocol and the business element of it? Is it the education of their internal staff on how to use this technology?
Well, I think the tech services and service provider clients are really interested in how it's going to disrupt the industry. Their clients, the enterprises, are most interested in how to do it safely, right? And they're convinced it's going to be disruptive. They've already, in their own minds, got dozens of places they want to start, but until they can get through the risk issues, they really can't start the journey. So I think those are, and if I had one word of advice for our tech services clients is focus on the risk first. There's plenty of opportunity if you can get them to do it safely.
Sounds good. All right, Peter, thank you. This is just the beginning of a long conversation. This is truly a change in our world, and we'll be revisiting the topic a lot. So thank you, and I'm sure we'll talk about it again.
Look forward to our next conversation.